Hi everyone and welcome to another series of the Startup series. I am so excited to be bringing you a new episode today and we'll be talking to the wonderful JT. Now before I go into introducing him, the Startup series is all about talking to entrepreneurs who are going through the journey. I've said this in the last one, but it's important to know that success isn't measured at the end of the road and when you're finally at the point where you're doing really well and you have all this publicity. Success is about the journey for me, and it's about talking to people who are currently going through it. So I'm so excited to introduce one of my closest friends, JT, footballer, entrepreneur, businessman. So I'm going to let him introduce himself now and talk a little bit about what he's doing.
Hello everyone, I'm JT Bavangila. As Sophia just said, I'm a professional footballer, educator, mentor and businessman. Currently living in Italy, so I flew all the way from Italy to come and do this. So yeah, it's been something that we've been speaking about doing for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I think just so everyone's aware, can you just explain a little bit about what your past couple of years have been like and really what you're doing right now in football and in business in general?
Well, past couple of years, it's been the most, dare I say, chaotic, but also exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting last couple of years of my life. Almost lost my life in 2020. Wow. Yeah, I was hospitalized, came out of the hospital, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm not going to hold back anymore. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I've been playing football since the age of 6, and I've done all right for myself. But then you can always do more in everything.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know, I'm just going to go for it now because life is too short.
Yeah.
Similarly with business, I had a community interest company that I started, which is still running, but we've just changed the direction of travel a bit. Obviously, COVID had a major effect, so the Art of Survival is still running. You can check that out on all socials. And now we're very excited to look towards the future and everything that's been achieved in terms of youth empowerment and education. And I'll get more into that when we dive into it.
Definitely. I mean, it's so that this podcast is all about talking to real people about their journeys, and I kind of want to delve into that a bit more if you're comfortable with it.
Sure, yeah.
I want to talk about 2020.
Okay.
And kind of what happened there, what you experienced, and what you took from it in a bit more detail.
Okay, so what happened was in the start of 2020, it was a normal day for me. I normally start my day with a morning run. Went for my normal morning run and I felt very, very good. I was excited and everything because a bit of a secret, I don't know if many people know, but I actually took a year away from football. I was going through a situation with agents. I mean, that's something that you and I have spoken privately about. If you're in the sports industry, then you know about certain politics that are involved in it. And to cut a long story short, the end of 2018, I felt very out of love with the sport and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I cancelled my contract with the current agent that I had. And I basically went on the whole year. 2019 was my year of sort of self-discovery. Yeah. And kind of figuring out what, aside from football, what I like and what I would love to do. And I worked like a madman during that year. I was up and down. I mean, it's all relevant to what happened in 2020. If I was to say that I regret it, maybe not, because I made a lot of contacts through my work. Is that when we done What's Your Story?
2018. Yeah, no, 2019, wasn't
yeah,
it? Wow, yeah.
2019
Yeah.
was the year we done What's Your Story. For those of you that don't know, What's Your Story was, and I think probably till this day is
Yeah.
the biggest youth empowerment event.
Yeah.
That happened in London, Box Park, Wembley. It was crazy. Do you remember the day?
It was crazy.
There was so much people. And
yeah.
we pulled that project together in 4 months. It was.
I think even less than that.
Even
Yeah.
less than that.
We met in April and
That's
it
when we
really
met,
started
yeah.
in May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And yeah, that project was big. So
yeah.
I was doing that. I was doing other projects as well. In 2019, I got made the head of youth mobilization for the political party of the president of my country, which later on led me to meet the president of my country. For those that don't know, I'm from Congo. So all of that was big, and I was doing a lot of big things in 2019. However, at the start of 2020, although I wasn't playing football actively, but there was a part of me that really still wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I was still training back and forth. When I went for my morning run in January, I came back home and I just started feeling dizzy, headache, and I actually lost sensation in the right side of my body.
Wow.
So I immediately called my mum, not because I'm a mummy's boy, but because she works in the field.
Yeah.
She works for the NHS. So I called her. I was like, "This is what I'm feeling," and she was like, "Stop what you are doing and go to the hospital now." Did I listen? Of course not. I went for a nap. I'm like, "Nah, mum, it's calm. I'm just gonna take a nap, and hopefully, like, the headache was. I'm calling it a headache. It was a migraine, but the worst of the migraines.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I took something, and I think I'm gonna sleep it off, which is actually very dangerous. Now that Now that I know what I was going through, it's actually very dangerous to do that. So,
wow.
I went to the hospital, and thankfully the people looked after me very well. But during that whole time, sleeping in that hospital bed and knowing that this could have been it, it just makes you see life differently.
Yeah.
And since coming out of the hospital that day, and I made it my mission to go for everything, and not to hold back, whether it be in football or in business.
I mean, it's something that I think we don't touch on much, because we think that we can't share our stories that are so horrific, like this one, and moments that change us. We feel like we can't share that until we're, at the point where we're successful, which is crazy, because I do think that people can learn from a situation like this. And I think, what did you take away from it, and what have you taken into your life since that happened?
The biggest thing I've taken away from that experience, number one, is gratitude.
Yeah.
We live in a world where it's not easy.
No.
And different people have different ways of dealing with what they're going through. And for me, I just look at that situation, and if you know my life story, then you know that I've actually gone through other traumas or traumatic experiences. There's a video on YouTube called "Who is Bavangila," by the way.
Love that.
You can go and
we'll
learn
link
more.
it. We'll link it.
Yeah, you can go and learn more about sort of everything I've been through. But in every situation, I always try to remain grateful.
Yeah.
And gratitude leads to opportunities.
Love that.
That's one of the biggest things that I've learned. Gratitude leads to opportunities. So the more grateful you are, the more doors will open for you. So always try to have a grateful mind, so that you don't limit the amount of doors that open. The second thing I've learned from that experience is to take care of yourself. I say this and I'm laughing because you being one of my closest friends and other close friends, you know the way I am.
I do.
Yeah. And sometimes you guys tell me like, bro, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow right down. It's good to have a good work ethic and wanting to achieve all of your goals, but also understand your body.
Yeah.
Understand when to rest. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
I could be asleep and it actually happened to me maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I was asleep and I just had the thought. It's like, yes. And this was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I was half asleep and I was like, all right, where's my notebook? And what in the past, what I would have done is immediately wake up and start working on the idea where my body's not fully functional. I'm half asleep. So what I do now is just make a side note.
Yeah.
And then always have a notebook next to you as well. If you don't walk around with a notebook, then you're weird because
it's true. It's true.
Made a little side note, and the following day I developed that idea. But yeah, know when to work, how much to work, and how much your body can take. Third and lastly, I think what I've learned from that experience is never limit your capabilities. What I mean by that is, before that life-changing experience, as I can call it now, there were certain things that I wanted to do, and I was just so hesitant. I was so hesitant not because I didn't feel as if I wasn't good enough, but purely because I believed at the time that it wasn't necessary to do, or I could do it later on. And we don't have the luxury of time, unfortunately, in our hands. So that idea that you're procrastinating on, I say develop it and see where it takes you. And I'm glad that I did that, because I'm a happier person than I was. I was depressed in 2018. 2018 was depressed. Even the start of 2019 was depressed. Not until I went on, I got invited to speak at one of my good friends, or our good friends now, Promises. Shout out Promise, by the way. Check out Envision Changes, our company as well.
Love that.
But yeah, I think it was the first event she was doing for Envision Changes, and she invited me to speak. And the title, the subject matter of the day was what is success? And going to that event changed my life, and I met some people that are now my friends, and I discovered another side, another element to me that I didn't know existed. But if I had limited myself, not gone to the event, I probably wouldn't have discovered that, and I'll probably still be in a state of depression. So go for it, man. Go for it.
So amazing. It's so inspirational. I think there's something that I want to touch on, and I think it was point 2 for you. There is this misguided way, and it's so unhealthy, that it's the old school entrepreneurship, which is Gary Vaynerchuk saying you have to work until you bleed. And it's destructive, and for me personally, I don't agree with it. I believe that I believe building anything takes time, and we should enjoy the process. But I kind of want to hear your views on it as someone that is in so many different things. What do you think about that mindset? And do you think that we're moving into something else now, a different mindset?
If you ask me whether I feel, I don't want to misquote Gary Vee, because obviously he's my G like that. But I feel maybe the message is to work hard. And if that's the message, then I agree with. Because personally, if you ask me, I do feel like in our generation, so millennials and the generation after, so Gen Zs, a lot of us are lazy.
Yeah, of course we are.
Let's just put it out there. A lot of us are lazy. And I say that because if I was to compare, and I know people say comparison is a thief of joy, but sometimes you can learn a lot from comparison as well in a healthy way. If I was to compare some of the things that some of our elders went through, our parents or whatnot, in a time where they didn't have as much access to some of the things that we have today.
Yeah.
I always ask myself, if I was put in my father's position in a time where he was migrating from Africa to move to Europe and everything that he had to endure at that time, whether I would have been able to do it, point blank. And honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I do feel like there's aspects of the certain people, certain personalities within our generation that push us to be lazy. So laziness is never a good thing, and at the end of the day, you will be the only loser. With that being said, as I was talking about knowing your body and knowing your limits, knowing how much to work, there is a term that's being used called applied pressure. Applying pressure is not necessarily a bad thing, but ask yourself these questions. Why am I applying the pressure? Who am I applying the pressure for? Where is this pressure coming from? And is this pressure healthy? And if any one of those questions, if you have a negative answer, then you really have to look at yourself and take a step back, because we'll come into a point where it's sad to say, but suicide rates are increasing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Last week we received the sad news of the passing of Twitch.
Yeah.
And you look at the man and you think, there is no way. There is no way. Nah. But yeah. And this is a man who you can argue that is relatively successful. He has his family, kids, and everything everything that we link the word success to, you would say that this man has. Yeah. But yet something somewhere wasn't quite working out for him, and he was unhappy in the section. So if your hard work is at the cost, if the pressure being applied is at the cost of your mental health, then stop. Yeah. Take a break and take another direction. We live in a world where we believe that there's a linear approach to everything. Yeah. And there's not. Yeah. There's many ways to do many things.
You have to say that message again. That's huge. I love that.
Seriously. And that's something I've had to learn. And it's not until we speak about my transformation in the last 2 years, I've been blessed to meet some really incredible people. And it's crazy because some of the people that I call my friends now are people that I used to see on TV. Wow. But 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, if you had told me that these types of people will be involved in my life today, I would say you're smoking skills. I wouldn't believe you at all. And that's because of my mindset and the way I was thinking at the time. It was very closed and it was very fixed, you know? And I believe that it can happen for others, but it couldn't happen for me. Yeah. So meeting those types of people really opened my mind, opened it dramatically. And now I've learned to understand that, like I said, there are many ways to do many things. Yeah. Don't be fixated on one systematic way of doing things, because the world is not linear, not at all.
I love that.
And give yourself some grace, man.
Wow. Yeah. That's huge. I mean, there's going to be people out there as well that are looking at you and thinking, how did you get there? And what I'm talking about is your football career. Okay. And I want to kind of delve into a couple of things here now, which is, firstly, how did you get into it? Because I think that's something that people don't really talk about, and that a lot of people out there, they want guidance. How did you get here? What are you defined by where you started? Did you have a leg up? Things like that.
wish, I wish I had a leg up for someone. God, blimey. How did I get here? All right, I'll start off by saying that everything is written in the stars. So, whatever is meant for you will always find its way to you. Like I said, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, and that might be the message for today. In life, in business, in whatever, give yourself grace. We live in a time where there's a lot of competition. And everyone seemingly wants to outdo the other person, and you might think the other person is doing better than you, but you don't live in that person's house. You don't know what the person's going through every single day, you know. So work at your speed and give yourself grace. Okay. Chadwick Boseman said something one time which is very pertinent to my life today. He said, can't remember it now. No, I do remember. I'm just trying not to misquote him. He said, "Don't rush, but don't waste your time." I repeat that. Don't rush, but don't waste your time. As long as you know that you're working towards something, allow yourself that grace of knowing that, and work at your speed towards that thing, and you will see that it will slowly blossom into something wonderful. You know, a seed doesn't become a flower overnight. You have to water it, you have to feed it, you have to give it time, you have to provide sunlight. There's so many different elements to one's growth. So allow yourself that grace. With myself, how did I get into it? My story is that I don't want to sound very morbid or anything, because I really try to uplift the mood. Sorry, did you say
No, I was going to say they want to hear the truth, because that's the thing.
The truth?
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Cool. So, I don't want to keep plugging myself, but there is a video out there that explains my life's journey up until now, and I think if people watch that, it will make more sense.
Definitely. We'll add that in. We'll link that in the videos.
Yeah, I think that would help a lot of people.
Definitely.
For myself, I was born in the period of I was born during the Civil War in the Congo. But I remember my mom telling me one time, when I was born, I had a lot of unusual amount of hair on my foot.
Wow.
And no one understood why. Even doctors at the time, they didn't understand why. Why is this boy hairy on his foot? And some people might look at that and think, well, that's just absolutely nothing. It means nothing, you know. But everything happens for a reason. And that's what I was talking about, written in the stars. I now know the reason why that is today, obviously doing my job and everything. The reason I bring that up is because you would find that in whatever it is that you're called to do, there are hidden messages. There's something that's gonna, if you're able to pay attention to the signs, you will discover something that will indicate to where you need to be and what you need to do. We moved here at the age of 5. My dad started training me. I say training me. He was a very active person, and he used to run, and he told me to follow him, and I couldn't follow him because he was faster than me at the time, and I stopped crying. Stopped crying because I was like, bro, like, wait for me. But all of that built character. My father raised me on discipline, and that's been the key to, I was going to say success, but relative success.
Of course.
Up until now. So for me, I was never the best footballer. In fact, I couldn't even make the district team. For those of you that don't know, district was a big thing back when I was 9 or 10 or whatever it was. It was a long time ago. I don't even know if they still do district football. I think they do, but yeah, I wasn't even good enough to make district team. District team is when they pick the best players from like the borough,
Yeah.
in every school.
Yeah.
And then they made a district team. And through that district team, a lot of people that I know actually signed for teams earlier.
Yeah.
A lot earlier than I did. Yeah, I wasn't very good at first. What happened was although I wasn't good, one thing about me is I've always been a hard worker.
Yeah.
So I would always used to outwork everyone anyways.
Yeah.
Not much skill or talent, but I just saw I had so much tenacity and a never giving up attitude. So you can be better at me at one aspect, but you're not gonna work harder than me. And I still have that attitude till today. If I really like something, I'll give my all to it. One day I went to the park randomly with my ball to go and just practice, I guess, by myself, because like I said, you ain't gonna outwork me. And then I met a man who later on became like a second dad to me.
Wow.
Because he wasn't just a coach, and at the time that I was playing, he was actually coaching a professional player at the time on a one-to-one basis. And then he saw me, and he's been seeing me, and I've been seeing them training a few days a week. And one day he asked his player at the time, he was like, "Who's this kid?" And everyone knew this player at the time because I'm from Homerton, East London, and at that time it's like everyone sort of knows each other or knew each other. So if you're doing bits, as we say, if you're doing well for yourself, it's known. And he was obviously doing well for himself, and everyone knew about him. And when he got asked about me, he told the coach, "Don't waste your time." He said, "Yeah, don't. He's not good." Yeah, didn't even make the district team, bro. Like, yeah, I didn't make the school team until I was in like year 9 or year 10. Yeah, whether that be primary school, secondary school. So yeah, very late bloomer here. He didn't listen to him. The coach didn't listen to the player at the time, and he told him to come over, and he said, "Who'd you play for?" I said, "No one." And then he was like, "Where's your mum and dad at work?" I said, "Is there an adult at home?" I said, "Yeah, I've got my uncle at home." He said, "Go home and call your uncle." When I tell you I have never ran so fast in my life, I ran home. I was like, "Uncle, you have to come now." And my uncle was studying IT at the time, so he was all into Cisco and whatnot, and he was like, "Mate, I'm studying." He was like, "I don't care. Leave whatever you're doing, come and meet this man." Long story short, we met the man, and he told my uncle that this boy has something special in him, and I would love to help him if I can. And the man took me the next day he met my parents. And with my parents, they are the first people in their family, respective families, to move to Europe.
Yeah.
Like to move out of Africa and actually settle.
Wow.
So a lot of things they were still learning. And I'm first generation of immigrants. I'm the first one. So there's a lot of things that we didn't know at the time that we now know now, that if we had known, we would do differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really, everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. Everything that has happened to you has happened for you.
Yeah.
So we all have, when we think back on our lives, we all have moments where we think, "Oh my gosh, why did that happen to me?" Or "Why did I go through that?" But it's written in the stars. Everything that has happened to you, that has happened for you.
Yeah.
So the man took me the following week to Arsenal Football Club.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's huge.
Arsenal. I went from playing in Mabley, in Hackney Marshes, to Arsenal. And I'm like, I didn't get in. Like, I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
At the time, to play for Arsenal. But the reason why he did that, he said, I think number one was for his own ego. I can't lie. Now that I think about it, I feel like he wanted to show that, listen, this is what I can do. If you work with me, sort of thing. And number two, to show me what's possible.
Yeah.
And I love that he did that for me, because a lot of people, especially if from the environments that I grew up in, we all have things that we can say have held us back.
Yeah.
I say move those things out of the way, man. Move those things out of the way and open your mind up to what's possible. If I never would have believed that I'll be good enough to play for such a team. Never would have believed that. If I had never experienced it, if I never went out there and actually saw what is possible. So I'm very glad that he did that. Although I didn't make Arsenal, but every day since that day until probably 16 years old, I had one-to-one training with this man. So it doesn't matter if it was raining, snowing, hot.
Yeah.
I had training with him. So my schedule was, I would leave home, I'll wake up at 6 a.m., do my chores, 7 a.m., leave home, go to school. From school, I would leave school, let's say 30:30, I finish, go straight to training. Train until 7, come back home, eat, shower, eat, do my homework, and the next day we go again. That was my schedule. That was my routine in secondary school.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, it takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds can do that for years.
Yeah.
But that shaped me up. I was fortunate enough to get scouted by one of the Southampton scouts, I should say. And I went to play for Southampton Sparshot with the coach being Noel Benson, who really, really had a massive impact on my life as well.
Wow.
He used to call me the machine. Yeah, because I was bigger than everyone.
Yeah.
And I was fast and I was strong, but technically I wasn't the best. And him training me and his son Lewis Benson training me and all the other coaches there really helped my technical ability and my tactical nous on the pitch. So my overall game was becoming complete. But the fact that you had someone that believes in you makes a massive difference.
It really does, yeah.
It makes a massive difference. And I'm so grateful for that. Unfortunately, my career has been stricken with injuries.
Yeah.
So whilst I was there, I've done my meniscus in my knee, which didn't allow me to play for quite a long time. And being injured is the worst thing. Like a professional athlete, being injured is the worst thing because there's literally nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And you're seeing others, they're working.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. But I went on from there, went to play in Belgium, and you know my story, I've played in a lot of other countries ever since then. So my story is basically an illustration of resilience, hard work, which I'm so grateful for because I now translate that. Translate that into all my other businesses and endeavors. So the thing with becoming a professional footballer, you have to be extremely dedicated, disciplined. You need to have purpose and you have to have consistency. You need to allow yourself, if you're not ready to sacrifice, don't bother starting. Because like I said, me training every day in school and that carried on. There was times where my friends, I say my friends, I had like one friend and you know, So, and then I had other people. I didn't have many friends. I couldn't have many friends. You can't have many friends when you're that dedicated. And everyone else that you know is going out partying and doing this and doing that, and you just can't do it. You just can't do it. If you're serious about making it, you have to be that strict on yourself.
Yeah.
And it gets lonely. Oh my gosh, it gets lonely. But in anything, even in business, when others are out somewhere and you're working on your project or you're doing something, oh my gosh, it gets lonely. I'm preaching to the choir right now because I know you know what that's like, probably better than me.
It's the natural. I love that you're talking about this because it was just the question I was going to ask you.
You fell right into it.
You really did. So there is a misconception, or it might be true, who knows, that you either meet the person who's going to be with you during your successes at the beginning, or you meet them once you are successful. I want to hear your opinions on this. And do you think that you can have a relationship whilst you're building what you're building?
What kind of relationship are we talking about here? Because
a relationship, a partner, someone that you want
a romantic relationship?
Yeah, definitely. Even friendships too, I mean.
Great question. Very good question. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know why you are. You're a snake.
I really am.
I know. I know exactly why you brought this up, because we spoke about this privately, right? Building, having a relationship whilst you're building something.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh boy, have I struggled with this. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy because, is it possible? Yes. Yes, It is possible. There are certain conditions, though, I believe anyways, for it, in order for it to be possible. So, it's a good point that you mentioned, not just romantic relationship, because even friends, I'm very picky with friends.
Say that again.
Very picky with friends. I'm so picky. I'm so picky with friends, but I have to be.
You have to, yeah.
I have to be. I can't afford to be around. Number one, I don't have the time.
Exactly.
I don't have the time. I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
To spend with someone who is not like-minded.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to this question. Identifying those individuals that are like-minded to yourself. Yeah. Identifying those individuals that have the same ambition, the same. So when you and I are good friends.
Yes.
We're very similar in certain aspects. Then my rebuttal to that will be, you also need people in your life who not be a distraction. I don't think that's fair, but someone who can take your mind off of work, off of business. That's also very important, because we spoke about the balance between work and mental health and all of that. And I have friends, actual friends, I have friends that when I need that, I know that I just need someone to make me laugh right now.
Yeah.
I know exactly who I can call.
Yeah.
And that's not to diminish them or anything, but they have that quality that I don't have, that other people in my circle don't have.
Yeah.
That person is very important to me.
Yeah.
Very, very important to me. And you need that balance.
Yeah.
You need that balance, which is another thing as well. So identifying the people that have the same mindset as you, and also having a balance. And with balance comes boundaries, which is another thing as well.
Huge.
With something, laugh.
We can both.
Laugh, because boundaries.
Talk about that. Let's go into that. I think that is something that people don't understand.
Right.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic. I'll let you take that away.
God, boundaries. I think the viewers might be thinking, why are you two laughing? It's because we have struggled with this.
Yeah, we have.
In recent years, and we've spoken about it privately. Like, when it comes to boundaries, it's knowing how much of yourself to give to the other person. And like I said, with balance comes boundaries. Boundaries come with balance, because if you don't know how much of yourself you can give to the person, you wouldn't then be able to figure out how much of yourself to give to your work.
Yeah.
If I'm making sense. So cracking that is major.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can understand that, it really is a game changer. What I've found that's worked for me. I think what I'm going to try and do next is you have to be honest and upfront from the jump, regardless of whether it's a, completely platonic relationship or romantic relationship. You need to be honest with the person upfront, because if the person knows what you're doing, hopefully they will have the tools to allow you to be you and to allow you to be great.
Yeah.
The reason I mentioned boundaries, my God, I've been story time. I've been in situations where, obviously now I'm talking about romantic relationship, when I know myself, I know how I work, and the other person at the time wasn't doing much with themselves, which is fine because I've been there. You know, when you're going through a period of like self-discovery, of knowing what it is that you like, not because your teacher told you to do it or your parents told you like to do it, but because it's something that is within you that you enjoy doing. And sometimes in life, you go through that journey where you're trying to figure that out. The problem with this person was they said, when they speak, they make it seem as if they're trying to figure it out, but they're not.
Yeah.
So they're almost, I don't understand that. I don't know how to say this without sounding hood. Like, they're just there.
Yeah.
Like, you're just there. When you are in that position, advice to everyone, when you are in that position, when you're trying to figure out yourself, you need to get out there. You can't be home and be like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'll give you an example, right? I was seeing this girl one time, and I went round to her house, which was consequently her parents' house, and her younger brother, everyone knows I play football, so her younger brother was like, we're all sitting around the table, her parents, her younger brother, myself and her, and her younger brother was like, man, what's it like being a footballer, man? It must be stressful. I was like, yeah, it's really hard work. So yeah, I'm trying to be a footballer as well, man. And then the mum goes, yeah, he trains every day. What are you doing about it? And then the dad goes, well, he spends all day playing FIFA, doesn't he? Right? I say that to say this: you have to get out there.
Exactly.
You have to get out there in order to actually find out whether. Because sometimes we feel as if we want to do something, but you actually do it and you realize, I don't actually like this.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And you have the right to change your mind and to try something else, but you have to get out there and try. The person that I was with at the time was not doing that. And it became incredibly frustrating for me. And it almost got to the point where I had to babysit the person. And
yeah,
I need someone who's a self-starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, ladies.
Yeah. I need someone who's a self-starter. I need someone who has an idea and has the courage to go out and actually make that idea, turn it into something, turn it into a reality, It's very difficult to find those people, and especially in, it's funny because last time you and I spoke, we spoke about this, and we spoke about how small our pool is.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Our dating pool, is very small, and the dating pool is closely linked to your friend's pool as well.
Yeah.
Because my motto, I don't know if I should say motto, but I always say that if I don't like you as a person, I'm not going to love you as anything else. So if I don't like who you are as just a normal person, as a friend, I can't be your lover.
Yeah.
Because love fades eventually. It's on and off. But if I like the person that you are, if we're in a relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic, and we have a falling out, it's the things that I like about you that's gonna make me want to fix the problem, right? So if we have an issue, but then I think to myself, yeah, we had an issue, but this brother or this sister, like, they're very hardworking, they're patient, they are emotionally available. yeah, I'm just going to talk to them. We're going to sort the issue out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very important as well. With that being said, sometimes in business, always having someone that you like next to you is not always the best idea.
Yeah.
Because that person is just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Massage your ego.
Yeah.
But if we have a target and we're working on a project and we need to get here,
yeah,
don't be nice to me. Don't be nice to me. Tell me the truth. Tell me what you really think.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you think I would like to hear. Excuse me. Tell me what you really think so that we can achieve the goal.
Yeah.
You know? And when you relate that to a romantic relationship or a serious friendship, that's also important.
Yeah.
You need someone that can also tell you that no. And you have to be able to accept that as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we say we want that and then you get that and then it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's like, oh, why are you talking to me? I don't like it. Like, well, yeah, that's what you need in order to grow sometimes.
Exactly.
You know? So you have to be receptive to that as well.
Yeah.
It's very important. But I think the key to all of this is identifying the person of whom you're like-minded to.
Yeah.
Which will make things easier.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to do that, I teach that as well.
Wow.
Through the art of survival. So hit me up and you can join like one of the webinars and that where we teach the tools to identify such people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, it's been so great having you.
Thank you, man. It's been sick. Thank you.
And my last question to you, it's not really a question, but how would you define success?
Oh, very good question. You got some good questions.
I know, I'm winning.
Got some very good questions. How do I define success? First of all, in my humble opinion, success is subjective. So how I'm going to define success right now is probably not it's probably not how the next person will identify what is success. For me, success is doing what I need to do in order for me to be okay the next day.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow. That's authentic.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone describe success in such a wholesome way.
Honestly. And don't get me wrong, if you had asked me that question 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have given you a different answer.
Yeah.
But with everything I've gone through and everything I experienced, that's what success is to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is to me. And every day I try to take minor steps, little steps, in order to make sure that I'm okay tomorrow.
Well, on that beautiful note, let's end that here. And this is closing out the second episode of the Startup series. I want to thank JT for coming down today.
Thanks for having me. It's been good.
And give the people your handles so they can contact you.
Yes. You can find me almost everywhere under the handle King Babs. That's King, so King Bavs. That's on Snap, Twitter, Instagram. Check out my YouTube page as well. It's a page of my life, so everything. It's a very personal page, so you get to see all my travels, everything I do. And it's kind of exciting. Be sure to write to me thanks for having me, man.
No, of course. We're going to link JT's handles and YouTube channel below on YouTube and then on Spotify. You've heard it here first where to find him, but it's been a real pleasure, a little bit emotional, I feel, but thank you so much.
Hopefully I can come back, you'll invite me back soon.
Definitely, of course, but thank you so much, guys, and have a good day.
Take care.